Hello everyone and welcome in this Python course. So this is the lesson 12. Okay, in this video we will try to talk about arrays and lists. We will also talk about strings and non-type and if statement. And at the end of the video I will give you two products just to help you practice the notions that we will see here, and also to give you a chance or another chance to understand more all of that. Okay, so the first thing we will try to talk about before talking about the arrays is a common error that the beginners do. So what is this error? So for example, you make a variable, for example, equal 12 and another string that, for example, that contain hello. Normally str is a name used by Python. So when you make a variable, or when you make your variables, try to avoid all the names that were taken by Python at the first time, right? Because this will make and induce problems. Okay, after that, so for example, I will show you what is the problem. Okay, so print type of x. Normally this will return int, and for example, when we make print type strx, this is a casting, so we will cast this int value to a string value. So we will have here, like we said, print x. Okay, type of x. This is the same. This is the same thing. Okay, let's try to see the results. Okay, int and str. But when we make this variable here, we will have a problem. It will just tell you str object that is not callable. Okay, so because the str here is not the str used by Python, but it's the variable that you assigned hello in this line. Okay, so this is a big problem. And also, for example, when you make, for example, m equal, for example, 14.7, and you import, for example, library mat, and you give it a name, for example, m. When you try to make print m.sqrtx, it will give you error. So it will just tell you that float object that has not attribute sqrt, because this is a float object, and this float object doesn't have anything called sqrt, because this m is this float variable and not this m here. Okay, we should remove that. Now it will work. Okay, yes, we have to remove this as well. Okay, so now it worked, right? So just try to make attention when you make your variables. Okay, let's talk about the arrays. Arrays and lists. So an array or list is a variable that contains variables, and variables that can contain can also be lists or arrays, and integers, complex, or any other data type that exists in Python. So let's make a list. So the list equal, for example, 10, 12, 13, hello world, false, 14.9, for example. So here I made an array that can contain at the same time a lot of data types. Maybe this, if you are familiar with the C language, this is not possible. If you make an array, you should make it with the same data types. But here in Python, it provides you this functionality so that you can make an array with a lot of variables or data types without any problem. Okay, it also can contain another list, for example. Okay, nice. So now, okay, we made something wrong here. Okay, now what we can do with the list, the operations that we can do, for example, we can print the list. We can print, for example, we make a value that contain the length of the list, okay, and print this value, right? So for example, for this array we have 1 2 3 4 5 6, so all the array is considered as an item. So we have 6 values, so n is equal to 6, as we can see here. Okay, it returned 6. Also, we can do a lot of other things. So for example, we can the list dot remove 12 56, it will remove it. Okay, yes, we have to print again the list, right? Okay, but we cannot, for example, make this. Okay, we cannot make it because 56 doesn't exist in the list. It exists in the list which is within the whole list. Okay, so for example, list print okay, so the list start with 0, so this is 0 1 2 3 4, and this is 5. So let's print 5 dot remove 56. Okay, we can, okay, no, we cannot remove, we cannot print this. We'll put this here and the less. Okay, okay, we have a problem. Oh yes, we need to remove this line. Now it will work, right? So we remove now the 56 that exists in the list here, right? We can also, for example, make pop dot pop. So pop can allow you to remove the last item. Okay, so this is the last item, it will be removed. We can now also added something at the end of the vector or the list. For example, 13, it will be added at the last. We can insert a value, a specific index, for example, insert 1 4. So 1, as I said, mean it will be inserted here, not here, because this is 0. Okay, so 12 and 4 here, right? And there are other things that you can, for example, practice for yourself and discover them for yourself. The second thing, which is very important and a lot of people don't make attention to it, is that, for example, we will make another list. Okay, list, for example, equal the list. So the list 1 point remove, for example, 12. This is obvious. We will remove the 12 from the list 1, right? But what will happen to the original list? Okay, 12 is removed as well in the first list, even if we didn't make, or for example, the list dot remove, because vectors or lists here in Python work as pointers. So when we make a variable and we assign this variable a list, this really, they have the same address, so they mean the same thing. They are stored in the same place and somewhere in the memory. Okay, so if you change this, this also will be changed. Okay, it's like pointers if you worked with pointers in C language. Okay, so how to solve the problem? So we can just make a copy. Okay, we will make a copy and then assign it to the variable. Okay, so now the 12 stay and we will not affect the list. So this is really important, really important. So this is all about lists. We can, for example, have list 1. Okay, we will I will just give you another thing. For example, 5 4. We can, for example, print the list plus list 1. This is a concatenation. Okay, we will add these two values at the end of that, right? We can, for example, for the display, we can, for example, display just, for example, okay, from 1 to 5. Okay, so we will, so this is 13, hello world, false, and 14. Okay, so 5 is not included, right? 1 is included, 5 is not included, right? So for example, if you want to start from the beginning, there's no you're not supposed to make it 0 here. You can just put it like that and it will work. So from 0 to 5. Okay, so this is all about lists. Let's now talk about strings. So for example, we have hello equal hello world. So what can we do with this string here? For example, we will add something here, right? Or maybe, okay, let's make it like that, the slashes. Okay, now we can remove the slashes by using hello dot replace. Yes, we will replace this tree by a white space. Okay, I will show you something now very interesting. Oh my god, nothing happening, and that's something normal, because in the strings you need to assign it to a variable. If you want the changement to be applied on the same variable, you can make the same variable equal, for example, the variable pointer replace. Okay, now we can show and see the result, right? It's not like the arrays. In the arrays we didn't have to make this, right? Okay, so this is for replace. For example, if we want to make a list from this string, for example, a list that contains as items these two words, we can make split. So we will split the text using a symbol. So split, we will split this text using this symbol. So now we will have an array. Okay, so we split this text by that, right? So if we, for example, we make the same thing here, 4, we will have 3, okay, 3 items, right? What can we do again? Okay, for example, you have a lot of white spaces here, and you want to get rid of those white spaces. We can Lstrip. So Lstrip mean you will remove the white spaces in the left side. Oh my god, what I have done. Right, okay, we removed them. We can do that also for the right, because here we still have the white spaces. Print. Okay, there is nothing now, so we can do it for both sides at the same time by strip. Okay, now we removed them. Okay, so those things are very interesting for the strings as well. Okay, for example, we have another variable. We have seen that, but we will do it again. For example, k equal hi. Okay, we can print the concatenation. This is really obvious. So we will have the concatenation of those true variables, right? So for example, yeah, Lstrip. Oh my god, Lstrip, right? To remove those white spaces, and okay, now it works. So this is the operations that we can make with the strings, right? We can, for example, have list 1 equal text dot print. Now we can make or maybe list, okay, list. So now we will have something interesting. Print list 1. Okay, so now we made an array that take for each item 1 character of the whole text, right? Okay, known type. Okay, about the known type is a variable that contain nothing. For example, t equal none. So in this variable, actually there is nothing here. Okay, there is nothing. So this is a known type. For else if statements are used, for example, when you are working on a project or maybe working on a problem and you are in a situation that you have a lot of cases and you need to tackle all the cases and you need to cover all the cases. For example, if this condition is verified, do this. If it's not verified and we have another condition is verified, we can do that, etc. So how can we do that in Python? So for example, let's make a small example. For example, a equal 10. So if a superior than 10, okay, print hello, a is superior than 10. Okay, so you need to make these white spaces here. If you didn't make it, it will not work. It will give you a problem. Okay, so you have to make an indented block. Okay, this is how Python works. So for example, if you worked already with C language, we use the curly brackets, but here we don't use any curly brackets. So to let Python understand that this is included in this if, so you have to make this indentation, right? For example, to see what I'm talking about, so print okay, right? So now this okay will be printed for all the cases. Okay, so now if we put it here, this means that this print is within this if statement, so it will not be shown or displayed just in one condition, is that this condition will be verified. So for example, this is equal to 11. Now it will work. Okay, because it will enter and it will read these two things as well. Okay, so now we can, for example, make if else elif. Okay, elif. So elif mean that this is not a condition and we need to specify the condition. So for example, if you just have two conditions, if a is superior than 10, do this, whatever other, do this, the things here. Okay, you can there use else. So now for example, elif a equal to 0, then print a is not. Okay, yes, this should be string. If for example a is equal to 5, then print a is equal to 5, right? Else print a is something different. Okay, so now if we make this 5, so we will enter here, and all of that will not be read. Okay, a is equal. We can also do what we call the nested if-else functions, right? So for example here, we can make if a is superior than 11, print a is superior than 11, right? So now if we make, for example, 12, so we will enter here, we will print this, and we will enter here and we will print this. Okay, so if we make, for example, 11, we will enter this here. 11 is not superior strictly to 11, and we will just here, and we will pass to this case here. So for example, if we want to make this if, and we, for example, we want to do nothing, we cannot let it like that, it will give us a problem. So this we can make a pass. So pass is like putting it empty, it will just pass. Okay, so for example 12, it will print this and just pass, right? So these all everything for about else if statements. So see you in the next videos to understand or to solve the two projects. So here are the two projects. So this is the first project. So you have to make a second degree equation and calculate delta and solve the equation for all possible values of data, then display the results. And this is the this is project number 2. So here you will just to manipulate somehow the string variables and the list variables. Okay, so see you next time, and bye bye.